No, no, no. I understand that. I understand that. But when the camera's rolling, I need to make sure the light is directly on me. You have one job. Make sure that. Oh, hi. So, oh, yes, yeah. We'll talk more on that later. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Take the rest of the night off. Okay. I noticed in the last video series that we were using a number of different features. So I need to add something to the playlist where we are using the map feature to iterate over an actual array of data. So what we're going to do here is you'll see on the board we have looks like, yeah, we have three child components. All right. So we have, it looks like on line 21, we have one child component that is actually taking in the my data, and it looks like we're actually using the first element within the my data array of objects. And of course, we have the second child, in which is also taking as a prop my data and iterating, actually not iterating, but using the second element or the my data one dot name, which is the second object in the actual array. And then on line 23, we have the actual my data again with the third element in the actual array of objects. So this is what we don't want to do, right? We don't want to do this where we're not really, we are kind of using the child component, but what we really want to do is just kind of iterate using the map feature. So let's do that instead of actually doing it this way, because the code can really get really redundant and it can start to get a little nasty. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's close this out here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, because you were seeing the map feature before, let's actually do this. Let's get rid of this, and we'll see an error, but we might see an error. Let's actually get rid of that. And then we still want to use my data. All right, we can definitely do that. But what we then want to do is use the map feature. Okay, and this is an array method in which you can actually see the actual oh, perfect. It actually has the definition, which shows up usually when you actually hover over it. But this is an array method in which it will actually allow you to kind of iterate over the actual array data that you have. And then from there, what we're going to do is we can use, with this callback function, we can have any name here. So we'll just use user. And then from there, what we'll do is we want to use our child component that we have, and that child component is right here. All right, it's the same one that you've seen at the beginning of the video. So let's use child, and then what we'll do, since we're actually iterating through that, we'll take the actual user data and pass that in. And yeah, I think we'll use that, since we're using, so we want this name on line 21 to actually match the actual name here inside the value. This prop, this is just the actual prop name that we're going to give it. So let's see what we're going to do here. So we're going to do user, and then we can do, let's just do dot name. We'll just iterate over the actual names itself. All right, and then we'll close that, and let's refresh. And what do we got here? I don't see anything. Oh, so what I have the actual prop name as user, okay, which is fine. So what I want to do in the actual child component itself is actually use the props.user. And so now, instead of having the three child components itself saying child, 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 so now we're going to use map to iterate over the actual data. So each element in the actual array will be mapped over 3 times. It's going to iterate 1, 2, and 3, which is why we now see Mr. Stack, James, and Mike. All right, now we are getting a warning in here, and that warning is that each child in the list should have a unique key. All right, so what we need to do there is just make sure we do add the actual key. And what we can use here, and we just need this for the virtual DOM. So usually when things are updated, React knows exactly which particular component to actually make a change on. Now, since our actual object or our array of objects has an ID, we can use that unique identifier. So we can say, we can do user.id. Okay, and then that will, if we refresh it, get rid of our error here, and now React will be pretty happy. Now, if we did not have an actual ID or anything that was unique in our actual object, then map does allow for you to use an index. And it's just like a kind of like in a for loop where you would have like your let I equals 0. So this index here will actually, you can use that as well. So we can place that in here, and I'll refresh, and we still have no errors or warnings here. And React is pretty happy that each iteration of this child component with the my data array of object data being passed in, and everyone's happy. So I just wanted to show you that and how to use map, because it's used a lot in Angular. It's used a lot in React. 9.5 times out of 10, you will be using this particular feature to iterate over just mainly iterating over data and actually passing that data into the actual component that you want to utilize. Okay, so try to do a short one today. Enjoy, subscribe, have a good night. I believe I think we're gonna try to put that filter option on one of the previous videos as well, so let's actually work on that. But subscribe. If you have a question, leave a comment, and hit the notification so you know when the next video is actually coming up. And other than that, what else do we got? I think, I think that's it. All right, enjoy. Have a good one. Talk with you later.